Oh my goodness. I often I often get asked, am I like this in my own life? Do I, because I'm such a megastar living in my mansion, California mansion, that people sort of say, you know, would you do these things in your real life? So just been to Tesco's. Um, amusing. I just went and as I'm going, a little lady says, Kelly, hi, Kelly. And I thought, I don't know if I know, it's familiar. Anyway, it's a lady who lives near here who is lovely and does stickering and is fully on board and was just really super lovely, right? And I'm with my son and my son's girlfriend. And let me tell you the rest of that after I've shown you exactly why, you beautiful people, you should be
Is it your business?
Because it affects women in law and the way we live. It absolutely does.
It doesn't affect anyone.
Of course it does.
How does it affect us?
So, for example, if I was arrested today by a police officer who still had a penis but said he was a woman, he's allowed to intimately search me. Now, the reason he's allowed to intimately search me is because a transgender police officer who said he was a woman took the police to court to have that right because he said it was discriminatory
But if
for
he
him not to
believes,
be able
if he
to.
believes he's a woman, you're saying that doesn't make him a woman.
That's saying I have to indulge in that belief also, and I don't.
And let me remind you that we have all of our Halloween items in store for you, ranging from T-shirts, stickers are on their way. Don't even ask. We have the most incredible pins, and they are such a super bargain. And this weekend, if you watch out for your inbox, you will find that we have a discount across all enamel pins across the store. So you may feel like a suffragette, you may feel like a witch's cat, which apparently most people feel like. That's a best-selling pin at the moment. Definition of witch and so on. They're all pretty spectacular. Even if I do say so myself, sorry, not having a great hair day. I thought I'd come to you today as Nick Rhodes. So if you don't know who that is because you're a little bit too young, I'm not going to explain it because there's a small, tiny bit of me that's a bit annoying, a bit annoyed that you're so young. But anyway, this is the sort of thing you get in our amazing Halloween store. So anyway, look, what we do with your stuff is we give you an uncompromising campaign, should we say. Totally uncompromising. And I'm so delighted to be that campaign. So thanks very much. Anyway, so as I'm with this woman, this huge thing walks past. And this lovely woman, I don't know if I've named her, but if I have, then I'm sorry. And if she wanted me to name her, then I'm sorry that I haven't done it. And it's a bloke in a skin tight, semi-see-through, white-ish dress. He's bigger than my husband. If you've ever seen my husband is not a small man, but this guy is a good 6'3", normal build for a 6'3" man, not slim by any stretch of the imagination. Got a bad wig and like a kind of a wig out or something. And he shouts, "Hey, you're famous." And I just went, not really. And he said, "Oh, I'm famous." And did you say ridiculous? He said, "No, I'm famous. And then I said, and then the lady with me was just saying other things. And I just said, "Please stay out of women's spaces. You make women feel uncomfortable. Please stay out of women's spaces. You make girls feel uncomfortable. You Please stay out of women's spaces. No, I don't want to. I said, look, just stay out of women's spaces. And he clearly wanted to engage a little bit further. But he was just, he was shouting at me, and then he carried on. And I said, oh, I'm not interested in talking to you anymore. But stay out of women's spaces. You would make someone like my daughter feel really afraid. So I just want to tell you, I mean, obviously, not many of you are going to get accosted like that in the street and by a man who thinks he's famous. Now, I do recognize this man, and I recognize him because a couple of things. One of them is that going to shops with his children, and he'd be in loads of, pornified, inappropriate women's clothing, and his children would be in clothes that looks like they should have had been given new clothes about a year ago. Like all their trousers were too short, but like not a bit. I mean, a lot. Their clothes were sort of, their clothes look like they needed replacing, and that's fine and dandy, but not when we know that their dad is on the train every week coming from work in Bristol with bags of clothes that he gets out on the train. And I know that because my husband used to get the train. This man also was in the news for being verbally abused in a park. That made the local news. Let me say that again. A man who was called names in a park. That made the local news. Can you imagine? Would you even think to tell the news? And the police were taking it seriously and investigating. Would you even think of saying to the police, oh, I just called a bitch today. I got called a whore today. I got some unwanted sort of sexual advance when I was walking down the street. Someone called me a slag today. Somebody said that they wanted to have sex with me when I walked past them today. Can you imagine? Just wouldn't happen. Just wouldn't happen. So anyway, this man isn't famous. He is known in this town for being a ridiculous person. And I think it's absolutely fair to say that men who dress as women look ridiculous. They look ridiculous. I think it is fair to say that a man in his mid-40s wearing a skin-tight, semi-see-through white dress, whatever, looks ridiculous. I think it is fair and right that we should be able to say they look ridiculous. Like I said yesterday, there's something going on and it's weird. But anyway, so I just thought I'd share that with you. I thought it was really funny. I mean, what are the odds of meeting two people kind of almost in the same moment? One who thought what I did was great, and the other who is this stream is breaking up more and more now. Okay. I understand that everything's going a bit off. I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to go and have a lovely weekend with my husband to celebrate our anniversary. I hope you have something lovely planned for your weekend. If your children are anywhere in danger of being part of this cult, try and do something with them this weekend that involves them being offline. Try and make sure that you have an open dialogue with your children, because once it's gone, it's very difficult to get back. And I think that is the fundamental biggest risk factor between your children getting sucked into this cult and not. It's whether or not you have an open, honest, and consistent dialogue with them. That would be my advice. I'm not saying that if your child has got sucked into this cult that you've done a bad job. I'm just saying your bias against losing your children to this cult is actually being really very much part of your children's lives. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I love you all so very much. I hope you have a great weekend. To that wonderful woman I just met in Tesco's, thank you. It was a very amusing moment, and I was very, very pleased to meet you. Look, if we can keep speaking up, even and not wives, then we will win. If we can dress as characters from the 1980s, New Romantics, and get away with it, then I promise we will win. Let me just remind you, Band United and Reba L consistently do this, and I'm terrible at it. Please like, share, and subscribe. It does absolutely make a difference. The most important part of that is sharing. The more people that listen to this message, the more people that talk about this message, the more people that talk full stop about this nonsense, the quicker we end it all. And there's one other reason why else we're going to win. Because I never lose.